we're going back to when we were in Florida. What? Oh, we're still green screening.
You're still green screening me.
Man, I tell you what. How about that? There we go.
What?
It's still doing it.
Still doing it.
My goodness.
Virtual background.
None. There we go. Okay.
Look at that.
All right. Let's roll the intro.
I gotta know, when can we do this again?
All right, we're back.
Yes. Tuesday night, and it feels like it's been a long week already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just tired. It's a crazy time of year, trying to balance and juggle all the things. But tonight we are going to start talking about our June Walt Disney World, Central Florida trip. So I'm getting ready to post those vlogs. We have, I think I just counted, and we're going to have a total of 19 vlogs. We'll see kind of how it pans out. It might end up being more, it might end up being less as we start to edit things down. But we'll be kicking off with starting our trip and our Airbnb. So I thought it'd be kind of fun tonight to just kind of like unpack that first couple days of our trip ahead of when those vlogs are going to come out. Like I said, we have about 19 videos. So our hope is to get all of those out before Halloween, because we're going to have some Halloween vlogs to get up. So kind of trying to get through all of those. And then the backlog of vlogs will finally be caught up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But we had such a fun trip this summer.
It was a lot of fun.
We were supposed to, we had booked it to go down and be there in conjunction with the cruise. And then the cruise ended up getting pushed back because of delays in construction and acquiring the ship. So we ended up,
that COVID thing that happened in 2020.
So we ended up just keeping the Airbnb for the full time. And we figured, you know what, we have our annual pass. And that was part of the challenge was when they bumped the cruise to July, we had our annual pass that was expiring at the end of June, because we had gone down the summer before for the week of the 4th.
Yep.
And so we had activated it. I think it was June 28th.
Yeah. Right there at the end of June.
Yeah. So we knew we had that. And so the cruise perfectly fit with that. We're like, oh, this will be great. We'll go down and then we'll do our cruise and then we'll round out our annual pass and we'll come home. And we had planned on just renting this Airbnb for the 2.5 weeks and do the cruise in the middle of it, thinking it'd be kind of nice because we could just leave our stuff there, just kind of make our life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And not have to deal with transferring hotels.
Well, and if you're going down for a decent amount of time, staying at an Airbnb really is a lot more affordable than staying at a hotel, or certainly on property.
Oh, definitely.
Certainly on property.
Yeah.
Through a majority of the hotels. Yes, for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Dawn. Nice to see you. And
we knew you'd appreciate the background. Yeah. So this is actually our Haunted Mansion blanket from Hallmark this year. And the eyes glow, which is super fun.
You have to get them really intensely bright.
Yeah, though. We have a little UV flashlight, and that really sets them off. If they sat for a long time, they might actually, because today they have sunshine on them, so I don't know. They would glow, but
yeah.
It's super fun, and it's the coziest blanket because it's all I don't know if you can see it, but on the back it's got the Sherpa. It's so cozy. We used it for our backyard movie night the other night because we had a beautiful almost
beautiful
fall night. And so we watched Ghostbusters on the back patio and snuggled up on the sofa, and it was really, really fun. So yeah, so Airbnbs are definitely, they're a more affordable option if you're going for a long time. I will say I shopped around for a long time to try and get just the right one. So we knew we wanted something that was relatively close to Disney World.
Yep. Didn't need to be right next to it.
We didn't mind if it was a little bit of a drive because we knew we were going to have a rental car.
And specifically, we knew one of those days we were going down south
Yeah.
to Legoland. So,
we knew we wanted to do a lot of different things on this trip.
Yep.
So one of the things we had on our Florida bucket list was to do the Showcase of Citrus. We also wanted to do Legoland in Florida because we'd done Legoland in San Diego, and that was really fun. So we had a lot of different things we were trying to do on this trip. So we didn't feel like we needed to stay on Disney property. So we started looking for like an Airbnb, or like I originally looked like, could we just do like a couple different hotels and kind of like hop around? And so I priced that out, and then I started pricing out Airbnbs, and we were able to find an amazing house.
Yep.
It had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, technically 2.5 bathrooms.
yeah.
It had its own private, like, screened in pool.
Which that was the other thing. Eventually we came to, we really would like a pool with where we're going to stay, because we're going to be there for so long. I got approved to work remotely from down there for a couple days. So I was going to be working. These guys weren't going to go anywhere. So Wally, why not hang out at the pool? And then you had the great idea.
Right. So then I found a private swim instructor.
Yeah.
So Wally, you know, he's done, like, we have a pool in our neighborhood, and he's done swimming, and he's been in a pool and swimming since he was like teeny tiny. So,
I wondered if anyone was going to ask that question,
no,
Tina.
we did not move. We're still in Colorado. We just
Welcome
went down for 2.5 weeks this summer. So we're kind of going back to that trip and just kind of talking about,
And no, we're not moving down to Florida.
No
But
plans to move.
You know what? If your schedule works out, if your work works out, you can feel like you're living down there.
You can live the Florida life.
And live the Florida life without
So-
actually moving down there. And
Yeah.
and I would actually recommend to everyone considering moving to Florida, live there for a little while.
Well, and that's what's kind of cool too.
Do what we did.
is
Go down
you
for
can-
2 or 3 solid weeks.
Right.
Live there.
Well, and like we stayed at a house in Davenport.
Yes.
So it was really like, you know, interesting to do that, because I know a lot of people that move down there, buy in the Davenport area. It's a little bit more affordable. There's a little bit more like there's a lot of new development out that way.
There's a lot.
And
I-4 is a nightmare down that way.
yeah.
So we were in Davenport. We were actually in the Champions Gate area.
Yep. So
Yep.
we were like right in the Champions Gate, which is really a nice area.
Really
there was
is.
like tons of great food options right there. There was a Target, a Super Target, a couple Publix.
Mhm.
There was a Walmart not too far away. There was
Target.
an Aldi.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we actually did a grocery order through Super Target. So like we
Yep. It was
and we
super
really
Target.
we like doing that because we have our red card, we can get a discount, and we like shop at Target here, so we know what brands Target carries, and we could pre-order everything and then just go pick it up. So
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
kind of more south, not left. Yeah, it was like pretty much Davenport straight south.
yeah,
Is where
it
we
was
were.
a nice area. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the one thing you have to brace yourself for is just the like the traffic on I-4 is gnarly. So it's going to
Yeah.
take you, depending on when you want to get to the park, it can take like 45 minutes
Mhm.
to drive. You know, if you're leaving like off times, it wasn't as bad.
No, like when we would stay till 1 a.m.
Then it was like 20
Fine,
minutes
20 minutes. Yeah.
to get back to
Yeah.
our place. But there was one morning when we drove all the way there, and then I forgot something at the house, and Mark graciously dropped Wally and I off at the
All
Magic
the way
Kingdom,
back.
drove all the way back, and then drove
Drove
all
all
the
the
way
way
back to meet us. So we'll talk about that later in the trip. But yeah, so we had this like really wonderful house,
Mhm.
and I had booked it a long time in advance, probably like at least 6 months, if not like 9 months to a year.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get a really good deal on it. The other thing that's really hard about Airbnb is you typically have to prepay, and it's
Yep.
typically non-refundable. But there are certain places that you only have to pay a small percentage up front, and it is fully cancelable and refundable up until like I think ours was
30 days, I think, before.
We didn't have to pay until 30 days before,
Yeah.
which I kind of thought was crazy because we reserved it for 2.5 weeks. So if we would have canceled 30 days out, I feel like it would have been maybe harder for them to rent it. And I don't know if partly it was because we were staying for so long that they have like a more lenient
I don't know.
payment policy. But that was a lot of what I shopped around for because I just wasn't sure, like, are we still going to go for 2.5 weeks? What if we want to shorten the trip? What if we find a hotel that's a better deal? What if we, so it was.
What if the cruise gets moved?
Yeah. What if the cruise gets moved to like, well, and that was, when we originally booked it, what if the cruise gets moved? Because it was supposed to happen in June and then it did get moved back a month. And so then we at least had the option to decide if we still wanted to go. So, so Dawn, staying off property is definitely a good option for saving money. So Dawn said I've compared the cost, and even if we rent a car and pay to park, it's still usually cheaper than staying on property. Yeah. So I will say, like, because we had the annual pass, we didn't have to pay to park. So that was a huge perk to us of staying off property, because if you're going to stay off property, if you're going for a couple days and you don't have kids, I think you're close enough, you could just lift over. But really the cost of just and the convenience of having a rental car is just really, really nice. When we started doing DVC stays, we've gotten used to the convenience of having laundry, having a kitchen, having a refrigerator. And it's drastically changed how we vacation. And it's drastically changed how we do the Disney parks. I think that our vacation style now is much more like enjoy the resort. I always say this when we're on vacation. I hate doing laundry at home. Like, I complain about it every weekend. I force myself to do 3 loads every weekend, no matter what. And I complain about it the whole time and I hate it. When we're on vacation, I love doing laundry.
You do all the time.
I'll be like, I'm gonna throw in another load. So I probably did laundry most days we were down there. So I don't know what it is. It's like when I'm on vacation, I guess it's like I don't have to do the laundry, and it feels like a luxury when I'm on vacation to be able to do the laundry and to cook meals. So we really, really enjoy cooking and doing the laundry when we're away from home. So I don't know. It's like a weird thing, I guess. And I love going to different grocery stores than we have here at home and seeing what they have and trying to find fun things to cook. And so it was really, really nice to have the convenience of having a house. So we had this great pool, and it was, not huge, but it was the perfect size, the perfect depth.
You're not doing laps in it.
No, but it was wonderful for Wally.
Flop into the pool and enjoy yourself.
We used, what was the company? InstaSwim.
Yeah.
And so InstaSwim, they sent a private swim instructor to the house. And so she did lessons with Wally, and it was wonderful. We had her come 3 days in a row. We originally had planned on doing it 2 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I don't know what happened. She never showed up the second week. Still not really sure what happened. Yeah. They did refund us though. They were super responsive, great company. The instructor was amazing.
She was wonderful.
And Wally
loved her.
Legitimately can swim now.
And now he can swim.
And he's doing the diving board, can swim across the deep end. He definitely it definitely paid off. So I will say too, as a mom, if you have little ones and you want to find a really effective way to teach them how to swim, I thought renting a house with a pool that he could just swim in whenever he wanted to all the time and have a private instructor come out was amazing. Yeah. And really the cost of it, he's done swim lessons at places. We've done swim lessons up at our pool. And the cost really was
it was pretty much the same.
Yeah. And way more effective. We paid for 3 lessons and he learned to swim. We've done
weeks of lessons
and really saw no progress. So, I mean, I think that was a huge benefit as well, and definitely something we would recommend.
Mhm.
Like, I would definitely recommend, doing that as a family. And it was really lovely.
Well,
to
if
be
you're
there.
thinking about how I can go down and stay for 2 weeks and not have an annual pass,
Mhm.
so it gets crazy expensive to go to the park, that's how you do it. You have entire days at your house lounging
Yeah.
at the pool,
Yeah, just enjoying the pool.
enjoying it. And the other nice thing about this place we stayed,
Mhm.
they also had a community center. I never even made it down there.
Yeah,
so you're
we
going to
went
have
up,
to.
We went up to the community center, and it was great. It was a really nice, huge pool. They had a splash pad for the kids. They had a whole little like game room, movie room. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a really awesome spot. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I would say like if you're looking for some long-term stays, like look in that Champions Gate area near the parks. You're definitely going to
Again,
have a drive.
We're about, depending upon when you went,
Yeah, 20 to
average
45
about 30
minutes.
minutes, but it was either
Yeah.
45 or 20.
Yeah.
It's during traffic time, it's 45.
And I
Non-traffic
mean,
time, it's 20.
there was a lot of construction going on that
Right,
ramp.
right. It was right where all that I-4 construction is right
Mhm.
now, is where we were at. So
Yeah.
it'll get better eventually.
So, I mean, food for thought, but I think it was great. I think if you want to go super hard in the parks, like if you want to like be there when they open, leave when they close, get up and do it again, then I think it's worth staying on property. Like if you're going to go for 3 or 4 days or even 5 days and you're going to like go, do the parks, then I think it's worth it to just stay on property or stay in a hotel like very, very close, like a good neighbor hotel. But I mean, if you're going to go for an extended stay and you also want to just like experience the joy of Central Florida and do some things outside the park, I think it's really wonderful. And Dawn said, I agree. Being able to do laundry is great, especially when traveling with her family.
Littles.
And it's really nice. And it like, I don't know, I guess there's just something about it that alleviates the stress. Like you don't have to worry, like, what if something gets spilled on this like pair of shorts that I brought, and I only brought like 3 pairs of shorts for the week that I'm here. Like, whatever, you just throw them in laundry and it's clean and it's ready to go. And if your socks get wet because it's raining, throw them in the dryer. I mean, it's nice to have like the little conveniences of home when you're away from home. So, so I thought I'd pull up some photos.
Sorry. I'll deal with this.
Okay. So let's see. I think I've got some good pictures of the house.
And I would say, I mean, initially upon arrival, and Irene's going to load this picture up, I was scared that we were that close to other people.
Yeah, I mean so this was the unit we were in.
Let me make some modifications real quick.
And it was,
there we go.
I mean, you were right next to the neighbors. Like it was like not like a duplex unit. It was like
No, it was a whole line of houses like this.
Multiplex unit.
Yeah, multiplex. Good.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we never really had any issues with our neighbors. The last day
the last day.
The last day we were there, the neighbors next to us like brought all of their trash and put it in our little like.
So you'll see there's these little bins.
There's these little trash receptacle bins that you're supposed to put all your trash in, and they like filled ours up with theirs. Which
was the day we were leaving,
and
obviously
the day we were checking
going to
out.
fill ours up too.
So but the Airbnb host was like so helpful. Yeah. The very first day we got there, so we live in Colorado. We do not have humidity here. Like no
humidity in Colorado, people.
So the day we got there, we like filled we got all of our groceries, we filled up the fridge, and then we were getting ready to go to the park that night. And Mark noticed the temperature on the fridge. Like, thankfully, he checked. He like pushed the button to check it, and it was not cold.
No, it was like 46 or 52 degrees on the refrigerator. And I stuck my hand in, and it's not cold.
Like warm. I actually think I have a picture of like the.
Oh yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
It was the freezer was 22 degrees and the refrigerator was 55.
55.
So we're like, yeah, this is not, that's not good.
That's not good. We just loaded this full of all of our food.
And we had bought, like $150 worth of groceries because we were going to be there for 2 weeks. And so we had stuff to make like sandwiches, and we had snacks for the parks, and we had all of our like water and lemonade and juice and milk and all this stuff. And we're
Bonus
like,
points to who can throw it in comments as to what they think's going on before we can tell it to you.
yeah. So we like kind of panicked, and we were messaging the Airbnb host, and he was super responsive. He's like calling around. He's like, definitely shouldn't be doing that. And, let me call my repair person. And then we just made the executive decision, like, let's just run to Publix, get like some big bags of ice. We'll throw it in there. Like, worst case, that'll keep it cold for the night, and we can like go to the park and then deal with this tomorrow. And that's what we did. We threw it in there. Which,
by the way, if you ever have one of these type of Airbnbs, find yourself a good handyman that just knows a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what this Airbnb host had.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is why you need a good handyman in your life who knows this kind of thing. Calls back and tells the guy, well, is the refrigerator doing a defrost cycle?
Yeah, like we reset the power breaker, everything. Like we were reading online. So I think what happened was that it had gone through a defrost cycle right before or right as we were loading it with all of our stuff. So the combination of having the door open for like 5-10 minutes and loading our stuff in, and it also going through a defrost cycle, it just could not catch up.
Yeah.
And like I said, like we're in Colorado, so our refrigerator doesn't do defrost cycles because it's never like humid enough here to build up frost.
No. Not even in the
we
freezer.
grew up in Iowa, so we like knew the concept, but we just hadn't experienced
we didn't
it
even
as
have
like
that much in Iowa. I don't ever remember a refrigerator doing that.
Deep freeze, like
the deep freeze would always get all filled with every once a year. You'd have to take everything out of the deep freeze and defrost that, but the refrigerator would never.
Yeah, so it was just like a
fun
perfect
fact.
Storm of calamities. And it was fine. Like the ice kept it cool, and then when we got back from the park that night, it had come way down in temperature. So it was fine, and we messaged him, and like I said, he was super responsive.
And admitted our Colorado naivete.
Yes. Yeah. So that was good.
That was good.
Let's see.
Just hit that button right there.
This one?
Yep. Boom. Okay.
So I was gonna pull up some pictures of the house.
I think they're down. No?
Well, I can do this one that shows the pool.
So then hit that button again.
Boom. So that was the pool. Super, super nice. Very clean.
3 foot at the one end, 4 foot at the other.
Yeah. So it had this nice, I mean, it was all lanai. So it was all screened in.
Which the other thing that was really cool, and maybe you'll get to the picture of it, but right there to the left of where she's standing is a bathroom.
Yeah,
so bathroom, like a half bath outside.
So I said it was a 2.5 bath. So outside there was like a sitting area with a table, and then there was a door, and we're like, what's this do? And we thought it was probably just like
storage,
pool stuff or storage or whatever. And it was actually like a toilet and a sink. So there was a half bath outside, which was great, especially with like a little one who's in and out of the pool and, goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I gotta go potty.
Yeah.
and
you don't want him tramping wet.
Well, and he did learn the hard way, like the first day that the swim instructor showed up, that, tile floor in Florida, wet feet, bad combination. So it was nice when he like would be out swimming and then needed to go potty. We didn't have to like run in the house and deal with like the hazard of slipping on the tile floor, because that definitely is a hazard when you have a very busy 6-year-old, 5-year-old, I guess at the time. So the pool was great. And then that very first night, like I said, we made it over to Magic Kingdom, which was super fun, and character interactions had just come back. So the very first thing we did is met up with a certain character named Russ. So Russ met us over there. Biggest character
out there. What are you talking about?
And then we did go into the Magic Kingdom, and we got to do the meet and greet with Mickey, which was awesome. I do miss for sure the magician Mickey that used to talk. Like, I I was sad when that went away. I
Yeah.
thought that was really, really cool. But it was cool that they had the 50th anniversary Mickey. And so Wally was like super, super excited. And it was the first time that he like got to hug a character in a really long time.
Character hugs.
So that was super fun. And they were also doing autographs. So he got to do his very first character autograph. He's never done autographs before. So he's done character hugs before because those were happening when we'd been prior, when he was still really little. But they hadn't, like in his lifetime, he was too little.
Yeah.
And then they weren't doing autographs. So he was super excited to have his autograph book and to have Mickey be the very first character to sign his autograph book. So that like really couldn't have been any more perfect way to like kick off our trip. It was just really magical and really, really fun. And we got this awesome group photo, which I always have to scroll down to get to.
That is a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good photo. Just really captured the moment and the joy of it. And then,
of course, you always got to see, always be vlogging ABV.
Yeah, I think you just didn't want to put your phone down.
I didn't want to put my phone down.
But then we went and rode Splash Mountain, and Wally had never done Splash Mountain before, so that was a first and a last probably. We're just not Splash Mountain fans. Like I genuinely hate that ride. It is my literal nightmare.
But I want to call it as it is, and you'll see it on the video when the video comes out. She puts him in front of me. I'm the attractor of the water, and then he goes down below. So I'm the attractor of the water times 2 at that point.
So Mark definitely got soaked.
Yeah,
I definitely
show this picture because this
did
is
not enjoy the experience.
Yeah, this is unfair.
Unfair.
Look at that. Like how much deflection.
Russ is having a good time.
Wally's
like he goes down, Dad gets all the water, and I was just, oh God, I hate that ride so much. It's just it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
it's terrifying. I don't know. I just can't handle the like giant drop, and I think I have like trauma as a child from it because it was like one of the very first rides I did when we went to Disney World when I was in 5th grade. And I just hated it. It scared me so much. And afterwards we went and stood in line for Big Thunder Mountain and I was like too freaked out. So we walked through Big Thunder Mountain. Like we stood in the line, got up to board and just walked through because I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I'm pretty sure we just rode Small World the rest of the day. So so the other fun thing about having a house with a pool is that when you get home from the parks and it is like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you
don't even get this on property.
I know. You just hop in the pool.
You don't even get this at the Marriott down the road.
No. So we had a lot of like midnight
12:05 a.m. midnight pool party.
And Wally just loved it. And they always sell these at the Dollar Tree every summer. They have these like glow beach balls. And I've gotten them before, but I mean, we never really like use them because you can take them to like the pools at night, but it's like, they're all so like lit up.
You need to lean this way a second and make our screen bigger.
Hi, baby.
Make our screen bigger.
Come here. Biggie, you want to say hi? You can come say hi. Look it. Come here. Go say hi. What do you want? Huh? You want dessert?
Sorry. Back on track.
But yeah, so we had midnight pool parties, which was super, super fun. And it was fun to like have all the glow things. We had glow balls, we had a glow football, we had like all the fun
squirt guns.
Yeah. So I mean, it just was really, really fun to have our own pool.
Our own pool. So we could grab a glass of rosé
and sit in the
pool with it and not get yelled at.
Yeah. So it was great. I mean, we had, and you got some sangria. That was really nice.
Sangria, that was really nice. Sangria by the pool.
And yeah, it was super fun.
That might be the picture you see of me. So that might be a picture you see of me sitting with sangria.
Actually, I don't know if I got any pictures of that. So then the next day, another fun thing we decided to do on this trip was let Wally have a day where he just like he was in charge. So he got to call the shots. He got to say whatever we wanted to do that day. So we had a super fun day planned. We let him choose where to go eat lunch to start the day, because we were going to Disney Springs because we had tickets to do the D23 movie preview of Lightyear. So that was super, super fun. It was another first for this trip. We'd never done a D23 event. We've been members for 3 years. I think 3 years. And we'd never done a D23 event. We'd never been able to do the movie screenings because they're never happening close enough to us. And so that happened to be like going on that day, the second day we were there.
Of which, newsflash for today, if you're a D23 Gold member, they announced the Epcot 40 party that they're having on October 1st.
It's not great. It's $99, which it gets you in, and then they're going to have like a brunch, and you get the $25 gift card, and your parking's covered, which is a decent deal. Yeah. And then you get unlimited VIP Express Pass to ride Living with the Land.
I saw that.
I was like, really? You could have like thrown a bone to all the people that didn't get to do the Guardians preview and just like give them lightning lane, like one lightning lane to do Guardians.
But no, we're gonna give you a lightning lane to Living with the Land.
So
Dawn, you're gonna miss it.
You should just go down a couple days early.
Dawn, let me, as a fellow D23 member, I bestow upon you the VIP access to Living with the Land. The asterisk is you just need to go like 5 o'clock at night, and you'll VIP right to the front of the line.
Well, I mean, it's a good deal for $99, and you get 25 of that back. So you're really paying $75. Yeah. And you get your parking. They're gonna do a like continental breakfast. Yeah. And they did say there's gonna be like special guests or something at breakfast. So I'm sure they'll have like a character. Maybe they'll preview the new Figment character.
Maybe you'll get to see the new Figment character.
I'm sure they will do something special because D23, they do like to pull out the stops and stuff. So I'm sure there'll be something special, but
it's the event that should have happened. So much should have happened for the 50th.
I know. Yeah. I also think that like, I think Disney was anticipating more like surge for the 50th too. And so they didn't want to like add.
Well, you only get so much surge. I mean, you capacity limit it through reservations. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. Right, side point.
Anyway.
Side point.
Anyway, so we did one of the D23 movie premieres, which was really, really cool. And so we knew we were going to be in Disney Springs, so we let Wally pick where he wanted to eat. And so we went to Rainforest Cafe, which was, I think, a first. I don't think I've ever eaten there.
I've never eaten at the one at Disney Springs. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there forever. I remember it being like really cool when I was little on the volcano. And so we're like, this is like a classic like Disney Springs thing. Like, I feel like we need to do it. He loves volcanoes. He'd always like seen it when we'd like been down there. And so that was what he decided to do. And we said, you know what? That is the perfect place to go eat on your like kid picks the day adventure. So
and remember, it's Landry's.
It's a Landry's restaurant.
And so
Russ has the Landry's Club. Well, so it was nice because he has that. We couldn't get a reservation because it is kind of hard to get Rainforest Cafe reservations. And so Russ was gracious enough to, use his Landry's Club
because he was joining us for the day. Yeah, he was my D23 plus one.
Yeah, because for the D23 movies you can do 2. So I got mine for me and Wally, and then Mark got his and got a ticket for Russ to come with us. So he was able to use his like perk of being in the Landry's Club to do the front of the line at Rainforest, which is really nice. That works at Rainforest and T-Rex downtown. So if you have Landry's Club, and even if you don't, like I would say, if you really enjoy either of those, or you have a kiddo that like loves dinosaurs or really wants to eat inside the volcano, I would say like join it because I don't think it's super expensive. And I think like when you join too, you get money back and then you earn points on your meals. And Landry's owns a lot of different restaurants.
The aquarium restaurant down.
Yeah. And a lot of those aquarium restaurants. I know that one, there's another aquarium.
Did you see the one in Atlanta?
I think the one in Atlanta, but yeah, they have a lot of different Landry's restaurants.
And
So-
Yak and Yeti.
Yeah, and Yak and Yeti, which I did
Animal
not
Kingdom. That's
realize.
Landry's.
So it's nice. You don't have to have a reservation. You just walk up, you say, I'm in the Landry's Club, and then you go to the front of the line.
They were telling people no. They were telling people
Mhm.
3 hours. There were people showing up with reservations, and we just
Mhm.
walked. They sent us down a
Right,
different
yeah.
line, and lo and behold, here we are going to get seated.
So that was awesome. And it was a fun lunch. Not
Yeah.
the best restaurant like for food allergies. I think if you don't have food allergies, like you can have a lot more fun things on the menu there than we could, but it was super fun. And Wally, like, he loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to do one of the like character mugs
And going down, going
that
down
they
to
do
Disney
these.
Springs. I mean, you're in the magic, but you're
Mhm.
not in the parks. You're living that Florida life.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it really
You know.
is like, I mean, that's what's nice about staying off property and getting an Airbnb, and Disney Springs is great because it's free to park. So it's a great way to like go there. And I mean, you can't take any transportation to the parks.
I don't know if you can get to the parks from there.
You can get to the resorts.
You can get to the resorts.
So I mean,
might
you
resort
could
hop.
like resort hop, but I mean, if you wanted to have a day where you're not doing the parks, or maybe you're going to do like some of the resorts or things like that, that's an easy way
Yeah.
to like get on property and park.
Dawn's a Landry's member, confirms that we're
Yeah.
not blowing smoke.
Yeah, it really, like, we were really, really impressed with that and like super blown away. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Russ walked up and they were like,
Now,
okay,
Grant,
and just
another Landry's
right
card
in.
member showed up right behind us checking in, and they were
Mhm.
like, "Okay, it's going to be 45 minutes." So
I think we
if a
kind
stack
of
of you,
timed it
if
right.
a stack of you show up at once,
Yeah.
you're not all getting in.
And I'm
But
trying to remember. I think we went like around 11:30, maybe like right at noon. I mean, it was like right at the peak lunchtime. So that was really fun. We did that. Then we went to the movie, and so that was super super fun. And then since we had just done Lightyear, we went to Wally got to pick, so we went over to Animal Kingdom that day, and that was the day that the Finding Nemo show had come back, and so we kind of thought like maybe we'll go see the Nemo show, but we were like, let's just see how it goes. And Wally loves Animal Kingdom Park, so we went over to Animal Kingdom Park, and the first thing he did when he walked in, since it was Wally Day, is he got the Lightyear bubble wand. So he had a lot of fun with that, and it just was like, I don't know. I mean, you gotta have bubbles in Disney. It's just so fun. He had one of the Pandora bubble wands forever. And that was kind of his like staple bubble wand. So it was fun for him to get a Buzz Lightyear one and actually get to like pick that out. And he was super excited about it. Russ was not super excited about it by the end of the day because he kept getting bubbles in the face, but it was
good
fun.
for us.
Yeah. We did some time in the Dino Play Yard. We rode Dinosaur, which sufficiently scared Wally, like sufficiently.
It actually put me in the camp of dinosaur needs to be replaced. Sorry, saying it now. Unsubscribe if you want.
I thought for sure he was gonna love it.
Yeah.
And he'd done it before and
was okay with it.
was fine with it. And then he was like scared.
That combined with as an adult, it's like it either needs a major overhaul and refurbishment, or just it needs to go away with.
Time. What does she want?
I don't know what she wants.
Like staring at us.
Pretty
What
she's
is your
gonna bark at
deal?
us. What else would you like to
there.
talk about in our Florida living stuff, hon?
Well, I was going to talk
Living the
about
Florida life.
so I mean, that's what's nice is you can just like bop over to the park and have like a little day and like do fun things. Like today's a day where we're gonna let our kid like
Wally pick.
drive the day, and so we got to do some really fun things with that, and just do like a light.
Was that on
park
the same day?
Yeah.
So we did that. We hopped,
and then we hopped over to Magic Kingdom from there. Of course, we rode the monorail because Wally loves the monorail, and he got to pick what we ate, so we went over and ate at the Catempo Cafe. So that was a really, really fun day.
Specifically how we handled that, we said, "What do you want, buddy?" And then we found
like, what do you want to eat?
What do you want to eat? And he
And then
wanted
we, like,
pizza.
Yeah. So originally I think we were gonna go to like Pinocchio's inside
Inside the park. Yeah. But
and then we just ended up doing
well, for us, going to Pinocchio's wouldn't have been
it's hard
as
to find things that we can
wouldn't
all
have been
have.
as much fun.
So then the next day we just got to like chill. Like Wally and I had a super fun morning. Mark was working that day. Wally and I got to hang out in the pool. He did all kinds of pool time. And then we played games and we watched movies. We made lunch at the house. And then when Mark was kind of done for the day, then we made our way over to Showcase of Citrus, which was relatively close to where we were.
Yeah, it's right in that kind of left of the Magic Kingdom and Disney area that Tina was talking about before.
Yeah. And that was super fun.
Yeah.
It was not a busy day. We went on, this must have been a Monday or Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday because I think Monday.
What's June 14th, 2022?
I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday because I think Monday.
It's Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah.
Series always coming through.
So we just had like a really nice weekday to go over there. It was really, really fun. I would definitely recommend doing it. We did the giant monster truck tour. It was only us and one other family.
Yeah, and then maybe like some kids of the people working, or there were. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what's nice when you like go down and kind of have
you kind of live there,
a stay where you're not just doing Disney and you're not staying on property and like focused on the parks. You can do some other things, and this was like such an awesome like Florida attraction.
Yeah.
All the alligators everywhere, and then you go on the big monster truck tour and you're like down in the swamps and like lots of wildlife. And then they also had awesome orange juice smoothies. So these were super, super yummy. Like fresh squeezed orange juice with like ice, kind of like turn into a slushie. That was really good. And then you could also do them as a dreamsicle. So you could get that, but with ice cream in it. Wally and I got one of those before we left. And they also did like fresh squeezed mimosas. So you did an orange juice mimosa.
I did, yes.
Yeah. So that was a really fun place to go.
At 5 in the afternoon, I did a mimosa.
Yeah, well, it was so hot. It was definitely like a sweltering day.
Yeah.
Which, we know that going to Florida in the summer, but I think what I was most surprised by was how pleasant it was 90% of the time we were there in June. We normally go in July.
Yeah.
And July is just so hot. And so I was just surprised at how much more mild it was being there in June. So food for thought, like if you're doing an extended like summer trip,
do it in June.
June was a great time to go because it was early June. It was like the very first part of June. And it was hot. I mean, it's still summer in Florida, but it was not hot like it is in July and August and September. So I thought it was like kind of this perfect time to be down there, especially if you want to like have a house and have a pool and, you want to like swim every day and be out in the sunshine. And so June is kind of a really perfect time. But we did on the way out, we were looking down in the little like water and I was kind of joking with Wally about like, well, maybe there's an alligator. And like, lo and behold, out swims a like full-blown
Florida gator.
Alligator. So that was actually really, really fun to like get to see an alligator at the Showcase of Citrus because they like their gift shop is all outside. She might need to go outside.
I'll go let her out.
But then they have like the panning for gold and here's my dreamsicle. They were so good. It was really, really a yummy treat. What? Oh, she wants to go to bed. We have the door to our bedroom closed, and Biggie is like ready to go to bed. She's like, it is 7:45. It is past my bedtime. So that is why she's bothering us and barking at us because she wants to go to bed. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Lots of pool time. Oh yeah, I should show one of these little videos. I don't know if I think I posted them. But this was like one of the fun things and again, like benefits of staying at a house where you like have your own pool. But Wally learned how to like dive. So he was like full blown like diving into the pool. It was pretty awesome. It was really so nice to have a pool.
Did you get Dawn's question? Because
No,
that's a
she
deep
said-
cut question.
No, I didn't ask. His name might have been Lewis. I don't know.
Might
have. But to our dismay, he did not play any music for us. So,
It would have been so awesome.
I'm trying to think of some other things. Like, so we did lots of Disney Springs time, which I feel like we don't do enough Disney Springs time when we're on property, just because, you know, you want to do the parks. You're like right there. It's just kind of the perk of it. So it was really nice to do some Disney Springs time. Another thing we did is like we found cool places to eat down there. And so one night we did go to Whole Foods, which was like, there's not a lot of Whole Foods.
That's the
down
one thing
there.
when you're thinking about living in Florida, South is horrible from a Whole Foods or natural grocers or anything like that perspective.
Yeah, there's like nothing. So like the closest
It's
Whole
all
Foods,
north.
Yeah, it was way north.
So if that's important to you, or like in the case of us, we needed their sunscreen.
that's well, or like
It's the only place we can
yeah.
get their get our sunscreen from. We had to go north.
So because we were going there, I'm always like trolling the internet and trying to find things. And I'm in a lot of like gluten-free food groups on Facebook. And there's one that's like gluten-free in Orlando. And so they're always posting things, and people rave about this place. It's called 4C Creamery. And so I saw it was like pretty close to Whole Foods. So in typical Mark and Irene fashion, we got there literally as it was closing.
No, you.
So I actually called
them while we were stuck in traffic on
I was
I-4.
like, we are on our way, but we are going to get there literally as you close. So
here's what we want.
we got to Whole Foods 15 minutes before they closed, 10 minutes before they closed, and then to this ice cream place like 2 minutes after they closed. But the guy like pulled my order and like was waiting. He was so nice. He like stayed at the store.
Hey, Amy,
He
thanks
gave
for
us-
hopping on.
Hey, Amy. Gave us a full tour. Like, it was so nice. Yeah. And we did some of that too later in the trip. Like, we would just go over to property and like just go to like ride the monorail, or we did do a Skyliner night one night. Again, love the Skyliner if you're not depending upon it for transportation.
You're just going for a nice
ride
leisurely,
it
no
for
goal,
fun.
no focus.
Then it's a really
Skyliner's amazing. It's a
great.
beautiful instrument. And if it's also not like noon, like heat of the day
Yeah.
sweltering.
Yeah, it's really fun to do like Skyliner, like
5
evening.
o'clock.
And I mean, like
evening,
that sunset,
no
like
thunderstorms,
sunset time
on the
in Florida in the
Skyliner.
summer is just, there's something truly
Yeah.
magical about
Hey, Dean,
it.
thanks
Hey,
for hopping
Dean.
on.
So yes, we went over to this 4C Creamery, which if you have anyone in your life, in your travel party, that has really any kind of like food allergy, definitely recommend this place.
Well, and type 1
Um,
diabetes focus.
And yeah, so they
T1D.
started it because they had a daughter that has type 1 diabetes, and is also celiac.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to make a place for her that would be happy and she could have treats and enjoy it.
Yep.
And this place is just amazing. So I ended up getting a red velvet gluten-free whoopie pie with coffee ice cream in it. I don't think Coatsy.
I was going to see if you could see
Here it is.
there it is.
So yeah, I did it. Yeah, it was red velvet with like a coffee toffee ice cream in the middle. It may be one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. It was really good. And they have tons of ice cream flavors, just like tons. And they have sugar-free ice creams, and they have sorbets. And I mean, just really, really an amazing place.
Yeah.
And the owner is incredible. Like, gave us the full spiel.
Mhm.
Just amazing place. So definitely recommend that. if you're down in the area, if you have a car,
And this is to the northwest of downtown Orlando.
if you can do some like offsite things. And I think that's what's wonderful about like going and taking an extended vacation and having a house and like just embracing it as like a Central Florida trip and not just a Disney trip.
Yep.
And I mean, we definitely had
and feel like you're living there. Again, if you're planning on moving there, great. If you're not and you just want to, hey, I want that Florida living feeling, this is it.
So speaking of Florida living,
Yeah.
the next day I was like, yeah, Florida life, loving it. This is great. We have this like great pool in our backyard and sunshine on my face. I had on my Florida shirt. I was like embracing that Florida life. It was great. We were actually just getting ready to head over for a 2-night stay at Coronado. And so I was packing and I did something really stupid.
That's the other thing. So, and this may seem a little bit opulent, but again, we had pre-booked this thing, already locked into paying for it. So we were there no matter what. And we actually were saving a lot of money compared to if we would have been on property this entire time. So it left a little bit of room in the budget to do something fun like go to Coronado.
And it was nice because we could just pack like an overnight bag.
Again, overnight bag.
Living the Florida life, like it was like we were living down there and we're like, let's go over and stay at Disney for a couple nights. And we could just pack a nice little overnight bag.
And specifically, we did that so that we would be qualified for the DVC party.
Yeah, they were having
you
a DVC
had to stay on
Moonlight
property
Magic.
to go to the DVC party.
You didn't have to stay on property to go to the party, but in order to get the preferred booking day, you had to have a reservation.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for hopping on.
So I'm packing for overnight, and I did a really dumb thing, and I put a hat on the bed. And I don't know if anybody else has this superstition, but when you put a hat on the bed, it welcomes in bad luck and bad fortune. And so I put this hat on the bed and I'm like, oh my God, I put a hat on the bed. Like bad things are going to happen. This is not going to be good. Literally, Wally starts screaming and comes running into the house. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? He's screaming, Mommy, there's a snake in the pool.
Should have given you all warning about that. Sorry.
There was a snake in the pool. Like at the same instant, I put the hat on the bed. This thing shows up in our pool.
Florida living, people.
And it is black with this white stripe on its neck and this red underbelly. And I hate snakes.
Hat on the bed.
Hate snakes.
Bad luck.
Yes. So look it up. It's a real thing. It's a superstition. And it is one that we've had in my family. Like my mom is like,
it's an Italian thing, probably.
Fierce about it. Like you do not put a hat on the bed.
Thing. This is why people no hats on the bed.
I mean, within seconds
of the hat going on the bed,
the snake shows up in the pool.
Dean, yes.
No.
It's Florida living, man.
Bad luck. This was like a nightmare. So, Florida living, Mark's like goes in the kitchen and gets the strainer, like the plastic
pasta strainer,
to try and get the snake out of the pool. And I'm like, what are you doing? You can't use the plastic strainer. And then I'm sure you've seen it in some of the pictures. There's a pool net on the wall. See, there's a pool net. Oops. The pool net on the wall. So I'm like, get the pool net. So he grabs the pool net, which is very long, gets the snake out. It jumps back out. Finally,
the snake jumps back into the pool. I'm like, well, this is your funeral, man. If I'm trying to get you out. And so the second time he's like, oh yeah, he's trying to get me out.
Gets him out, but then he's got this long pole and he's like coming at me with the snake because I had to open the door of the lanai to throw it out. And so he's like, and I'm like, oh my God.
You should have been the one with the pole.
Gosh.
We did that totally
horrible. It was horrible. So.
Well, in the few minutes we have left, I'll let you circle up to your.
Here.
Oh, here you go. Okay.
I actually have this.
Share it. take a screenshot, get your phones.
What does never put a hat on the bed mean? The phrase never put a hat on the bed is popular in many populations and cultures and means that it is bad luck to put your hat on the bed. Generally, if someone sees you do this, it's clear that misfortune is about to come your or their way. So it is a legit superstition. Do not put a hat on your bed or snakes will show up in your Florida pool.
There's a snake in the pool.
I was traumatized.
No
Like,
snakes in the boot.
seriously. Talking about Florida living.
Well, as you circle up to your last Florida living point, got to remind everyone, make sure to head over to theliveplace.com. Dean does a great job of hosting all the live streamers that are out there. Coming up next, right after us, you've seen him in the chat, Hitchhiking Bones. Lovely chat. They're going to be talking more about D23 tonight. So we'll see what kind of rabbit holes we can send them down on that fun and adventure. I'll post the link to their stream in the chat here in a moment. So you can hop right over there once they're ready to go live. Thank you for moderating tonight. We greatly appreciate the help and the support. And thank you all for being here.
I think
Amy is correct. It is 2 million times better than a gator.
It's true. At least it was not an alligator in the pool because that would have been way worse. But I will say I had a hard time going back in the pool. And especially like those midnight swims, I was having a really hard time.
You made me check the strainer, the pool skimmer every
I was
time.
like,
You're like, check the skimmer.
Make sure there are no snakes in the pool. And then, of course, Wally thought he saw like a bigger snake. He's like, the mommy snake is out there. And I was like, don't talk about that.
Jonathan, I'm curious if you've, thinking of that now, have you been handed a little bit of bad luck after putting the hat on the bed?
I'm just saying, you're aware now. So now if you have something bad happen to you, you'll know it's because you put a hat on the bed. I'm just saying. So, take it for what it is, but that's been a long time family superstition of ours. And I'm just going to say that the whole snake showing up in the pool thing really solidified that superstition for me. I'm like, that is a legit thing. It's a legit thing. So, I think that's really the big highlights of Florida living. We did enjoy the parks while we were down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mark said, we went and did Legoland or Legoland, Florida. It's not technically in Orlando. It was a ways down there. It was a
long ways down there
to get down to Legoland.
Dean, we're not moving to Florida.
No.
That is at least not on the docket until retirement, maybe.
And that may be a big part of the reason there, Dean.
And maybe not even in retirement. So we've contemplated once we're ready to retire, maybe moving down and you're talking now 20, 25 years from now.
So I grew up, my mom's best friend originally was from New York, and then they retired in Naples, Florida. And so Florida's always been kind of like a second home. I would go down and visit them every single spring break in high school, every single spring break in college. I always used to call them my Florida mom and dad. So definitely spent a lot of time in Florida. And I think coming to Florida and the humidity and the palm trees and that, I don't know. I always think Florida has a very distinctive smell. Whenever we get home and unpack, I'm like, it smells like Florida. And people are like, what does Florida smell like? And I'm like, I don't know, humidity and sand and heat. I don't know.
Sunscreen.
But I think Florida's always held a real special place in our heart. Not just because of Disney, not just because of the theme parks, but just Florida in general is it's kind of been a little a getaway for me. Yeah. And I always loved it growing up. So,
but we're not contemplating moving to Florida. It's not in the plan. Not yet.
Not in the plan. Yeah. Not anytime soon. We were this close to moving to California before we decided to settle down here and have a family. But we love being in Colorado. And Amy flew through DIA on her way home from D23.
So they built the airport as far to the east of Denver as possible. In fact, you didn't experience it because of when you went through, but that's actually right where the convective regions come together out of the mountains. So most storms in Colorado form over DIA. Hence, the destruction it causes in most airline flight schedules.
Yeah, it's probably not the best place.
It's not
to
the
put
best
it.
place to build it, but it's where they had the land. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually pretty far from the mountains.
Mhm.
You would have flown over the mountains, obviously, getting there and on the trip, on the descent down. But
Because I think a lot of people think like, oh, I'm gonna go to Colorado and go on a ski trip, and I'll just like fly into Denver and just like walk on over the mountains. And that's
not the case. No, it's
it's a haul from
45
Denver.
minutes to an hour to get to the
If
mountains
you want to
from DA.
like go to the mountains, it's not like.
Well, and then they
Denver.
built the airport north south, so all the windows point north south. So to see the mountains, then you have to go all the way to the west end and look out.
Winter. So it's always a little hit or miss traveling in the winter out here. And where we're at in Fort Collins, it's like takes us about an hour to get to the airport, and that's on a toll road. So we always have to leave for flights like super early, and we have to watch the weather and just be really like thoughtful about that. Like if you think you're gonna do a 7 a.m. flight in December, you're taking a huge risk unless you want to.
And it's actually not just flying through Denver in the winter. The snow actually doesn't bother. They are
don't get a
phenomenal about
ton
the snow. We don't get a ton of snow on the Front Range. It's actually kind of right now in this vicinity when we're in the monsoon season, and then in the spring, kind of the spring rainy hail season.
Yeah, we'll just get some gnarly weather out there.
They can get some really gnarly weather. So it's actually spring and summer. And if you fly Southwest, they bounce planes around the country. So you might not be going through DA, but guess what? It's going to affect your flight.
Yeah.
Same thing with United. United bounces through Denver. So yeah.
And Dean, yes, we definitely.
Yeah, we got to see Dean
at some point. We don't have any Florida travel planned for a while.
Yeah.
We were kind of waiting to hear what the announcement was with Tron and D23 to see if we wanted to try and sneak down there like one more time this year. But
our naivete, we were thinking they were going to, announce it for like December 1st or something.
So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, depending on when it happens, we may try and get down there for a DVC or D23 preview, but we didn't renew our annual passes to Disney World. And that was like, the whole trip we were down there in June, we like knew that was impending, and we're like, okay, like, are we going to renew? Are we going to renew? And we went into it saying we're not going to renew. We're just going to enjoy it. And we like stuck with that. Yep. So, that was a disappointing announcement that it's going to be so long. Not hugely surprising. Like, I honestly would have been really floored had they said we're opening it in October, we're opening it in December. That would have
surprised me because
I would have been like, whoa.
They have a lot of landscaping to do to make that happen.
And I think they don't really need to. I mean, the Halloween parties are all sold out. Some of the Christmas parties are starting to sell out. Yep. They don't need the traffic. So
save it for the spring when we need traffic.
So I mean, our next planned trip to Orlando is for the 4th of July next year, because we're gluttons for punishment apparently, and just love going to Florida in the hottest month possible. But that's our next planned visit to Orlando. So this was a great way to kind of round it out. So so like I said, stay tuned. We've got 19 different vlogs coming from our time in Orlando, and we'll be kind of sharing as over the next couple of weeks with our travel talk, just little bits and pieces. Like we got to do lots of just different things
July 2023 is the next official plan.
2023, yeah. So we've booked the Poly for the 4th, which will be super fun.
Minimum if you're down there, you can come hang at the Poly on the 4th. Yeah,
because I think they've kind of changed that now. Like you have to be staying there to get beach access on the actual 4th.
Yep.
That's our plan. So I think like the 1st through the 6th, I want to say.
I just got notification Hitchhiking Bones are live, so they're materializing.
Yes, so we're going to dematerialize.
Yes.
And rematerialize over there. So
thank you all for coming along tonight. Again, thank you to Dean at Live Place for hosting us. This is the wonderful world of Walter.
Who, I don't know, is happily
the dog's in the bed.
Biggie has already gone to bed. We love you guys just the way you are. Bye.
Bye.